Welcome to every movie I've ever seen. This is a special Rummaging through April edition where throughout the month of April I'm going to be reviewing movies that I found at rummage sales. Now these are probably going to be movies that you've never heard of, that I've never heard of, and that probably no one's ever seen. So up first I have Fired. This is right off the bat, this is like a Blockbuster DVD. I don't know if you can see it. It says Blockbuster right there. Which means it's got like a special locking mechanism, which means if you want to open this up, you just need to use like brute force and break the damn thing. I've got a couple like this. I've opened up this one, I've opened up another one, which I'll probably watch tomorrow. I don't know how many more I have after that, but I know I've got a few like that, which is a little disappointing. I wouldn't have gotten them if I had known about that. I believe this is about 70 minutes long, which you can guess why I went with that one. It is the shortest of the lot that I have. So basically this is about some girl, I suppose she's an actress, Annabelle Gurwitch. She got fired from a theater a theater play that Woody Allen was making. I didn't know that Woody Allen made theater plays. I don't know what Woody Allen does or did. I've never seen anything directed by Woody Allen. So she gets fired from that, and I guess she decides to make a movie about firing, about being fired and people who get fired and, the stuff that deals with that. I don't know, again, I don't know when this movie exists compared to, all the stuff that comes out about Woody Allen being like a terrible person apparently. So maybe that's a part of it too. But yeah, and there's a whole bunch of people in it. A bunch of celebrities have roles in this. Just a bunch of celebrities, mostly like C tier celebrities. Which she's probably like a D tier celebrity herself. I mean, I've never heard of her. She didn't seem like she had much of a presence on Wikipedia when I Wikipedia'd her. I think this might be the most well-known thing she's done. But you got people, Andy Dick is somebody apparently, I think. Tim Allen, David Cross, I know them. Jeff Garlin. You got two people from Arrested Development right there. David Cross and Jeff Garlin. Ann Mira, I believe that's Jerry Stiller's wife. Well, I think she passed away. Bob Odenkirk is Better Call Saul. Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad. Sarah Silverman, I never liked her. Fred Willard, I think he passed away too. Is anybody else on here? And there's other people. It's just basically a documentary about getting fired, like what that is, and it wasn't all that interesting, to be honest. It kind of seemed like it lacked focus. I know it was supposed to be a comedy. It didn't seem all that funny to me. There was one bit which I thought was kind of somewhat amusing. It was this story of an actor, Tate Donovan. Never heard from him. Never heard about him. He had like a role in a movie or a TV show, and they fired him and replaced him with Matthew Broderick, who's another person who's got some stuff going on. They replaced him with Matthew Broderick, and then apparently they started filming like outside his apartment. I guess I'm sure they didn't know that was his apartment, but they started filming right outside of his apartment. So now he's like trapped in his apartment because he doesn't want to like see these people to his shame that fired him. So thought that was somewhat slightly amusing. And then there was something that was interesting. It was about a chef who was basically fired from being the White House chef, and saying fired seems a little harsh. It was just more of like a parting of the ways, really. I think he said it was like George Bush was elected, and so when you get presidential changes like that, a lot of staff switches out. You never hear about like the cleaning staff or the cooks getting fired whenever presidents change. It's always the important stuff, like Secretary of State or Defense and shit like that. So that was interesting, but we didn't stick on that for too long, and I feel like that was the main problem with this. Is it lacked focus. It kind of like drifted from topic to topic and back and forth between topics, which didn't really work either. But it kind of drifted from topic to topic without ever really landing on anything in particular. So because of that, it doesn't have any real like message or point. Because if there was something that they could stick onto, something they could latch onto, then there would be a point to it. You could say, "Oh, it was about this." The things they briefly touch on, like how, companies can be sketchy with, firing people, and they make money off of that or whatever. They don't stick on it too enough to make a real point. But yeah, it's a bunch of C-list celebrities and people you've never heard of talking about being fired. And it's just, I feel like in this they definitely like over exaggerate how bad it is being fired. Maybe that's just because I'm like a younger person and they say that, how like the younger generations are starting to be more used to getting fired or something. But there was one point where they're talking about like the most traumatic things you could go through are a divorce and moving and getting fired, and I'm like, what about death? How do you not list death as some of the most traumatic things you can go through? Like, I'm pretty sure like a relative dying is pretty traumatic, much more traumatic than moving or getting fired. Well, I suppose you wouldn't want any of those things happening at the same time. Like moving and getting fired is a very bad combination. But yeah, so it doesn't. I don't know. It wasn't all that interesting. I mean, it's really just a documentary. It's supposed to be funny. There's like a quote here about how funny it is. The best kind of comedy, rooted in empathy, but with a serious point. Cox News Service. What? Getting Fired by Woody Allen was just the beginning, yeah. But, whatever. And I guess that's all I've got to say about Fired.